Welcome to Dysfunctionally Yours, the podcast where we embrace the chaos, laugh through the struggles, and find hope on the other side of trauma. I'm your host, Brittany, and if you've ever felt like your life was a beautifully messy roller coaster of dysfunction, trust me, you're in good company. Here, we'll have real, raw, and sometimes ridiculous conversations about mental health, relationships, and healing, because let's be honest, life isn't always pretty, but that doesn't mean we can't come out of it stronger and maybe even smiling. So grab a cup of coffee or a glass of bubbles, and let's navigate this wild journey together, dysfunctionally, but never alone.
Welcome back, friends, to another episode of Dysfunctionally Yours. I am your host, Brittany. Today's episode is one of those oof that hit me kind of episodes, and I'm joined by a longtime friend, Lindsey. Hi, Lindsey.
Hey guys, I'm so happy to be here. Happy to be seen.
So I say long time as in like 2021. In this economy, that's a long time.
That's a long friendship.
It's a long friendship. It's hard to make friendships as adults and like keep adult friendships, you know?
Yeah.
So, long time.
I don't know that I've made one since. So like we're a
record-breaking friendships. I'm super excited. So before we get into it, I figured we would start off a little ache and relief of the week. Do you have one?
So I was really sick like the last 4 to 5 days. So twice a year when I go down hard. Like I don't know what it is, but I got really sick like right after New Year's, and I don't know if I just like run myself into the ground, but I knew that after I got my driver's license, I was such a stress ball, and I never was able to come down from that. I just continued working and like doing my full routine and everything. So I remember saying to myself the other day, like I'm gonna keep going till I crash out. I just don't know when that's gonna be, but like my body is gonna give up, and it did. So my aching relief after to say all of that is that I'm finally feeling better, and I have shed the biannual virus and feel like a brand new woman again.
Look at you go. We love a brand new woman. That's amazing. It's like snaps.
Yes.
I actually have not been sick in, knock on wood, over 2.5 years.
Oh my gosh, that's
not
amazing.
Sick, not a head cold, not a sniffle, not anything. 2.5 years. And I'm like, is that normal? Am I broken? I've turned into a cyborg or something.
You're healthy. That's great.
It's something. I think my ache and relief of the week, I went to go do a sunrise paddle board. I was like, so yesterday I've been doing a bunch of like sunset paddleboard outings because they're great. Today I was like, I'm going to get up at the ass crack of dawn. I'm going to go do a sunrise and see if I can like catch a beautiful sunrise. So I was out there pumping up my board at like 5:15 this morning, and then my pump broke. And so I didn't have my backup in the car. And I didn't end up getting to go. And I was furious because it's dark 100 in the morning. I'm watching the sunrise from the tailgate of my car while I'm dealing with this broken pump. So that was a bummer. It's not the end of the world, but it was disappointing, all things considered. My relief of the week. So I've been complaining since April about the disastrous, most infamous closet at this point. And this week I made the tiniest little dent in cleaning my closet.
Feels so good.
I'm so proud of myself. I am so proud of myself, and I feel slightly less chaotic than I did 4 days ago.
There's psychology behind that, having a clean space, declutters our mind and helps us sleep better and all those things.
So I need to finish it up a little bit. Well, not a little bit. I need to finish it up, but baby steps get us there. So that's my ache. That's my relief. So I think I wanted to sort of reintroduce you again, right? I talked about you like 20 episodes ago when I originally talked about the podcast. And I was like, this was supposed to start with my girlfriend, Lindsey. And then she abandoned me to go to a place that we shall not name, like Voldemort. Uh, and so you didn't get to. And
The
so
devil's den.
so I was like, when that didn't happen, and then I ended up starting the podcast without you, I always knew you would be a guest for multiple reasons, right? Like, you just have such a story, which is great, but you're just a gem and a superstar and like an overall real life hero, and you make me laugh and you're so funny. And I was like, the day will come, the day will come, and the day has come, and that makes me very happy. So
exciting.
Again, I know.
I'm happy too.
I'm happy you're here. And so I know, like, when we had originally talked about like having you come on, we were like, oh, we could talk about, some very specific parts of your story. But then I know the other day, whenever I reached out, I was like, what do you want to talk about? That was not what you wanted to talk about, which is totally fine. What you said was so relatable to everybody. I think everybody can relate to what you said. What did you tell me you wanted to talk about?
So I just like lately have just been doing some like reevaluating. So for like people that don't know me, like I've been through quite a journey the last like decade and have finally I'm like, I don't even know where to start, but the last decade has been tumultuous, and I have finally started to like come out from underground the hole that I've dug myself. I'm 3.5 years sober. I gained which I'm so grateful for. I gained 100 pounds during my active addiction and from a car accident that I had right out of high school, and lost all of that and have my own place, got my driver's license back after 10 years. And I just thought that once I hit all those milestones that I would just feel like, such a weight lifted off my shoulders and I'd be so happy and there's nothing standing in my way anymore. But that's just not reality for me. I still am unfulfilled. I just don't feel happy with what I'm doing. And I'm like in a point again where I feel like when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change, you'll change. And I have to change something because I just can't stay in what I'm doing, in this job that I'm working, in this routine that I've created for myself, which has served me for however many years and gotten me to this place where, I've made a lot of strides and I'm really proud of all of those things that I've accomplished, but it's like time to like move on and do more. And I feel like whenever I got my license suspended for the 10 years, I kind of had to give up on all my dreams at the time. I was a semester away from graduating college. I had to put all that on hold and just like do whatever I could to survive. And it's just becoming like so much more apparent to me now that I have like that freedom back of like, okay, you don't have to stay in this job anymore. You don't have to stay in this town. You don't have to keep doing like you're not trapped in your society anymore. It's time to fly free, Birdie.
It's time to fly, to grow your
it's
little
time to fly.
Again.
And so I feel like that's just like what I've been feeling a lot lately is that I want to make some huge changes. So I'm just trying to like feel out what that's going to look like.
I mean, and I think that's a lot. And so, not to minimize any of the things, all of the things that you said you've accomplished are like massive, massive. You know that. And I know that. But I thought, we'll just talk a little bit about what happens when the finish line that we set, like the sobriety or the driver's license or whatever that finish line is, we all set them for ourselves personally, right?
Right.
Doesn't like fix it. And then how we can learn to keep going without losing ourselves to the hustle of like that enoughness. But I do think that you touched on something that's really poignant in there. And it's that just you gave up on so much, and now you're realizing like, oh, now I can have that back.
Yeah.
And so
That just gave me chills.
yeah, I mean, I think that happens a lot where we end up we focus on the healing, right? We focus on the healing, we focus on the growth, we focus on overcoming that adversity, whatever that is. And then once we get there, that's what we've been focusing on. It was never like, what are we going to do when we cross the finish line? It's just like, I need
Have
to be
to get there.
I have to get there, right? And we don't think about the other side of that. And then you get to that place and you're like, well, this is a really strange place because I've never been here before. Because last time I had this opportunity, I was battling addiction, or last time I was overcoming trauma, or last time I was in a horrible relationship, or whatever it is for any random person. And so then we get to where we thought we wanted to be, that like grass, that greener grass, so to speak. And we're like,
now what?
I don't know what to do with this grass. Like,
yeah.
How do I take care of this grass? Because this grass is not that grass. So, I think that happens a lot, especially, I mean, you said addiction. I use trauma a lot. And obviously there's a lot of trauma that comes with addiction as well, right? There's just a lot of that. And so when we overcome that, like we live in so much chaos, whether it's the chaos that our environment gives us or that we're creating for ourselves, or
that's its own addiction.
Right. Exactly. So then you kind of like, you're feeding off of that. And then once that goes away, that calm comes that you were begging for, right? I want to know what it's like to not have all of this trauma and all of this chaos, this abuse. I want to know what it's like to, wake up sober. And
then we feel bored.
And then we're bored.
Yeah.
And then like, what on earth do we do? And we feel like we need these big grand gestures or this big exciting life to match what was exciting. I'm not saying it was healthy, but it was exciting. And we need something to match that in our body. And when it's not happening, there's a lot of times that we're like, well, I'm bored.
Yeah.
And being able to be comfortable with being still is really hard. It's hard to learn how to be still.
Yeah. I actually reached out to the college that I was going to when everything went to shit. And I wrote them an email today and I was like, hey, this is the years that I went there. This is the degree program that I was doing. Have one semester left. I know this degree program's not offered anymore. I was just like wondering what my options are, just because I want more for myself. I can't imagine doing another 5 years in retail. Like, I'm literally going to go insane if I have to. I do not want that as my career.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in retail sales. I don't want to do that crazy schedule. I feel like it's literally like I have no life. I'm so unhappy with it. And I don't want whatever the future holds in that. So I'm like, I have to do something. It's like sink or swim at this point, even if I have to start over. But my dream is not to be like a store manager. And it never was. It's something that I went to because it was like an option at the time. When we first met, like it was easy. It was right up the road. Like, it was something that kept me really busy, which was really good, I think, whenever I was first getting sober, because an idle mind is the devil's playground for me. Like, I didn't want to have too much time. I wanted to be really busy, but now I just feel like I'm like drowning like with it. And I like want to have more of like a balance, and I want to like go after my dreams again. So I'm really going to start putting more energy into that because nobody else is going to do it for me.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. I mean, and I think it's great that you've already taken those steps to like reach out to the school and see what they say. The worst thing they could say is sorry.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, those major credits are they're still good somewhere. English credits, math credits, like things like that, like core classes, they stay relevant. So also, we'll throw this out there. There's this really cool place and it's called Colorado, and you're always welcome to come back to it.
Yeah. I mean, I would still be there had my sister and brother-in-law not decided to come back to Florida. That was crazy.
Family shit. Can't relate.
I would still be there, like, and
Yeah.
who's to say how long I'm going to be here, like I've never wanted to stay in this area. It
Yeah.
just kind of is good now just because I'm closer to family, but I would love to come back out to anywhere in the West, like
Just
pure
anywhere at all.
any city, like anywhere that actually like has things to do besides go to a bar and drink, because that's the type of environment that I'm in right now,
Sure.
and it does not suit the type of lifestyle that I want at all. And so I think that's why like a lot of this stuff is like starting to come out too, because I'm working all the time, and on my days off I'm just sitting at home and like cleaning my house or working out, and there's nothing to look forward to. There's like no fun like that's a
Yeah.
part of that at all, because I know myself better than my ass ain't going to these bars. I'm not
Yeah.
going to go to clubs. Like I'm not going to
Right.
do that.
It's not my thing either. But it's wild how we create like the imaginary checklists that like if I do X, then I will feel Y. And
Yeah.
look at me pulling out the algebra they taught me in 8th grade that I said I'd never use. But like, but the why never really shows up, right? It shows up different, right? Like you're like you just said, I just sit at home, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, you don't know what to do because your hobby before that was going to the bar or whatever. And
Yeah.
then you threw yourself into the healing journey to staying busy, to being sober, and to occupying all of your time so that you didn't think about going to the bar. You didn't think about trying to stay sober, right? Because that's its own journey in the beginning is trying to stay sober. You don't just get there, you know?
Right.
So and now you're like, all right, well, I'm chilling and I'm being a grown up's really fucking boring when you don't have a
It's
hobby.
boring as hell. I hate it. I'm like, can we get a dance class going? Can there be like a freaking
Yeah,
art show somewhere? Can we have like literally anything? I mean, something.
you could
And I
start.
don't want to just go to these places by myself either. Like, I'd like to,
Yeah.
have like fun people to do it with, but it is hard finding people that like, even if people can support me being sober but will still drink around me, which doesn't like set me off like it used to, but it would be nice to like have someone who is also interested in just
Yeah.
doing a fun sober activity,
To
like
do a sober brunch.
if we're gonna go to the movies, like
Yeah.
alcohol doesn't have to be involved,
No, that's
it's
true.
just like a respect thing, and it's
Yeah.
hard to find that.
I feel that. I think, and we live in a day and age right now where you've gotten so many people that are like sober curious, but sober curious because like they want to be and not sober curious because they have to be. Not
Yeah,
sober curious because they were like, oh, this is destroying my
I'm
life.
gonna die if I
I'm going to
don't.
die or somebody else is going to die.
Yeah,
And so then it's not that serious, right? And
yeah,
we forget, right? We are such selfish creatures, whether we mean to be or not, that we're just like, oh, she's fine. And how many times is somebody going to be like, hey, do you mind? And you're probably going to be like, no, I don't mind.
no, you're good.
You're good. But inside, you're actually like, I mean, I wish you wouldn't.
Yeah, but I also know that
Yeah,
I'm not in charge of other people, and I
totally.
have always just let people do what they're gonna do,
Yeah.
because then I just see what they'd rather do.
Right. Right. So I could see where that, is hard because you're not trying to force a life that you chose for you on somebody else. And also, you're still allowed to have your own boundaries as to what you want around you at any given moment. And that would be that's hard. And that's hard to make, especially like new friendships, right?
Yeah.
Just meeting people to be like, yeah, hi, this is who I am, and take this or leave it. Okay. That feels
Even my work Christmas party, like where I had just like started this job. And so I was very much like in my shell for months. I did not let people know much about me. I was very quiet. I was not like the Lindsay that you know at all. Like I was so much of an introvert. Like they were
Well,
like,
that
"Does she?"
technically is the Lindsay that I met.
It takes a while. Like I have to like suss out the situation. Like, can I trust these people? I don't know. Like before I like just let it all out. But I don't know. Like I remember being at this Christmas party and it was at this sports bar and I got a mocktail and told the bartender, you know, that I needed it to be mocktail and stuff. And the next day, I woke up and was literally having this panic attack. Like my brain just kept telling me, what if she spiked it? What if it really wasn't a mocktail? What if you just ruined your 2.5 years? Like my mind was just spinning with this stuff. And that's 2.5 years, like being, and if there had been a drop of stuff in there, I would have known, you know, like
Yeah.
I haven't, but my mind was literally playing so many tricks on me just because the environment that I was in, the people that I was around, like it was like same situation, same places, same people type of shit. And my brain was just like, you relapse, like that's all that it was like. It took me like a day to like convince myself, no, like none of that really happened. It
But
was
that would be
awful.
scary. Yeah, that
It
would be
was so
scary. And then
scary.
also like not worth it at all. Like it's
Yeah.
like, well, then never mind. I'll just go drink my water. Like
Yeah.
that'd be
And so
scary.
that's why I don't like to, you know, that's why that's not the type of like functions that I want to like put myself in. Just I want to spare like that from happening. They always said like in meetings, you know, if you stand by the barber shop long enough, you're eventually going to get a haircut. And I don't want to put myself in a situation like that. Like I want to like do something different.
Well, and I think that, you know, there's so many, I know you've moved around a little bit through your sobriety journey, but even if you hadn't, there's so many like friendship changes that happen on a journey like that. Like when we put ourselves on this like healing journey to grow and be better, then, you know, we're constantly like outgrowing the people that are around us, and not because they're horrible people. A lot of times they're not horrible people at all, right? There could be really great people, but they're just not aligning with like where we are in our journey. And that can be you know, that can be really tricky too, that we're constantly like having this friend turnover.
Yeah.
Because we need our friends. We need people. And so then it can be really, really lonely to grow and heal and overcome as well. And then you're sitting on the other side again with this great accomplishment, whatever that looks like, but then you don't have any, there's nobody around.
Unfulfilled by. And that's what I think I experienced when I lived in Miami, because I didn't have one person there that I like could truly make like a connection with. So, you know, the whole dream of like, you're sober, you look great, go take the world by storm, you're moving to the city, like this is gonna be, you know, big girl moment. Like it just, the pedestal I put that on just was not in reality of like what happened. I remember like sitting on my balcony last year watching the fireworks by myself, crying, just saying, this ain't it. Like this is not the dream. I need to get out of here. I need to go back and be with like closer to my family. This just is not what I had hoped to be, because it's great to be sober and healthy and look good and be able to hold down a job and stuff. But like, if you don't have anybody to share it with, it's just so miserable.
It can feel very lonely, that's for sure. I can empathize with that. And you know, me being somebody that's like always thrived on human contact, right? Like I'm such a social person. And then to realize that there's a lot of times that it doesn't, what other people are doing socially doesn't align with me and where I am and where I want to be. And learning, I had to learn how to be okay with being by myself.
Yeah.
And that was hard. I thank COVID for it all the time, because COVID forced me to be by myself. There wasn't another I didn't have another option, right? This is just the world that I was living in. So I had to learn to be okay, because I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. I wasn't allowed to do anything, but I was able to like finally learn how to sit and be still and be like, okay, this is okay. I'm okay with myself in this time. And yeah, would I maybe like to be doing something different? Yeah, maybe, but I also am okay in this space. And so that was a big part of like my healing that I had to have. And then, you know, by the time I moved out to Colorado, I was like, sweet, now I'm ready. I'm ready to take on the world. I'm ready to have all of these friends. I'm ready to like live my very best life. And then, you know, Chase decided to fuck up my shit. But, you know, that's what little brothers are for, I suppose. So, you know, that's been a journey trying to like relearn, like, who am I now? Right. So I think it's just like it's constantly moving that goalpost more and more and more. Like even when you get there, then something else happens. Life happens again, because we sometimes forget that life is still happening while we're in the middle of our healing journey. Like it didn't stop, wait for us to catch up to it. And then we're like, sweet, we're all better in this same space. It just kept doing what it does and evolving.
There is no finish line.
There is no finish line. And that's a dumb idea. Like I want a finish line. I want a tangible, where is point B? Where can I plan on that? And like there's not, but I think we do have to learn that that's not failure, right? That's just us choosing to heal in your moment, in your space, in your life, and then obviously learning what that healed version of us needs. And that's therapy. That's what therapy is for.
There was a really cool thing that happened the other day that I'll share. So I was sitting on my couch at night just watching TV and heard this like loud noise at the front door. I thought it was literally like an animal trying to get in, because it sounded like something was like scratching my front door. Woke my dog up out of her sleep. She got up because she thought something was there too. So, you know, I go out there with my little flashlight, and I have her on the leash, like, and I see this cicada that flew into the front door, big as hell.
Right.
And I didn't know what it was at first. It looked like an apocalyptic creature, but after
they are apocalyptic creatures. They're basically dinosaur bugs.
After doing a little bit of research on Google, I found out that it was a cicada. And so I did some investigative journalism, and I saw that some cultures believe that when cicadas come to your home, it's a sign of it change and evolution and growth. And so that is what I'm taking, because it just was so aligned with like what I was feeling, you know, like I feel like so stuck, like in my current situation. I feel like really unhappy and I want to do something different. And then all of a sudden, this big ass cicada flies into my door and decides that it was going to leave me that little gift of letting me know that I am the cicada that has come up from underneath the ground and is going to start flying and transforming and making a change.
Here you go. This is your season.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very cool. That's very cool. I mean, and
that's never happened before. So I'm looking at it as a sign instead of just like a normal occurrence.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm big. I'm big on the universe telling me all of the things that I need to know, whether I want to hear them or not. Yeah. I am big on the universe telling me all of the things that I need to know and really paying attention to things like that. So congratulations to you and your cicada bug.
I should have taken it and like put it in a frame or something.
And then where'd he go? Did he just fly away?
No, I think that he's dead. My dad, I didn't want to leave it on a dark note, but
it's like that was the part of the story I don't disregard.
He sacrificed himself
for you
to give me that message. Hey. And so he's a part of the bushes now outside my house.
You know, and the bushes need fertilizer as well. So
yeah, that's what happened.
It's all a part of the journey. Yes. Well, yikes. I don't know how to come back out of that one. What do you Shoot. What do you think it means for you to be fulfilled now? Do you know? I mean, even just aside from like I heard you talk about like how you wanted to spend your time and things like that, but like bigger picture, like what do you think that means for you?
I don't know. I thought I knew. I thought that it was, you know, like being sober, being a certain size, and being able to drive again. And now my brain is telling me that no, it's having a certain job, but I know better than that. I know that that's not it either. I think that I just want to feel like I'm doing something with purpose.
Yeah.
I feel like that piece is missing for me. I don't feel like I'm making a difference. And I feel like all of these things that have like transpired, like I have such momentum to inspire and like make a difference in other people. And I don't feel like I'm utilizing that at all. And so
Yeah.
that's like something more that I like want to tap into. I just don't know how. And so I'm just going to try different things, because I just feel like my story like has a purpose, and I don't know what that is. I just want to be able to feel like I'm making a difference, and my current routine is not doing that. I just feel
Right.
like I'm in a hamster wheel just doing the same things, and I don't make any really type of like connections that I feel like, wow, that was really cool that happened today, like I'm
Yeah.
not inspiring people like doing foundation shade matches or selling them like a lipstick color. Like I'm not making a difference at all.
You
Like
never know. You might have made somebody feel beautiful today.
I don't know. I feel like it's more the total opposite, where it's just like I've gotten to the point after working like in a customer facing position for like 15 years now that I just don't even want to like be around people. Like I'm just so turned off by people. I don't want to deal with it. Like they're just so mean, and it's so hard to just keep putting the mask on every
Yeah.
single day. And I have to like get out of it. I can't keep doing it. If I
Yeah.
am going to be in a client facing situation, I want it to like actually make a difference and actually help people. Like,
What
and I
about
just don't.
what about being like a peer recovery coach? Do they have
I've
those in
thought about
Florida?
that. I
Yeah.
have thought about that. I've thought about like the licensed mental health counselor type of thing. I've been looking into a lot of different things because I just feel like there's so many different things that I'm interested in, but I'm
Yeah.
also scared of change, and I'm scared
Yeah.
of getting into something and hating it and like regretting it. And I don't know, it's just scary, because I've been doing like the same type of thing for so many years now. And I'm
Yeah.
just scared, like, oh my God, what if I just leave all this behind and like try something different and I'm even more unhappy, like, so I just have to like swat those thoughts away sometimes and
Yeah.
just, if I am, then we do something different. Nothing is permanent. This is all temporary. Like it doesn't mean that you're stuck in this for the rest of your life either.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, and you'll figure it out. And you're not the only one out there that goes through some beautiful like metamorphosis, this huge like transformation, and then is like, okay, now what do I do with this, and how do I give back?
Yeah.
Because it's hard to overcome really big things, and I think that was like a big push, obviously, in me starting this podcast, was that it was like we're all just humans going through shit, and like
Yeah.
we all have a story, and not none of our stories are the same as other people's, but like I know some very cool people with very cool stories, and just people that against all of the odds have had like the endurance and the tenacity and just like the bravery to be like, this isn't working for me anymore and I want to be better. And I'm just so lucky to have those types of people gravitate to me. Or maybe I
Amen.
gravitate to them. Who's to say? But I mean, I think it's important that we, as like just the normal human, realize that like it's within us to be able to grow and change, and that doesn't mean we have it all figured out, right? Like we don't have it all figured out ever, you know. I might have been doing this healing thing a little bit longer than like somebody else, but I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I wake up every day and I'm like, hey, let's hope we can get through it. I had therapy yesterday. And my therapist was like, if you need me throughout the rest of the week, I'm here. And I'm like, I know. Okay. But I'll hold out till next week. I can be a grown up all by myself for a whole week. I promise. God, no. So like, what would you tell someone? What would you tell someone who feels like you right now?
It gets better. It has to, right?
Gets different.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm so grateful to be able to have grown over the last couple of years. Like, even though have these emotions where I'm not happy and things aren't perfect and I cry sometimes and I'm angry and I'm agitated, that's just all like a part of being human. And it's not something that I need to completely numb myself over anymore.
Yeah.
And so I just think that that is just amazing because the Lindsey that I once was would never be able to handle anything that's been thrown at me, you know?
Yeah. I mean, and that's great. I think being able to give yourself your own confetti, right? Sometimes we got to throw it in the air for ourselves because other people don't notice. Other people aren't with us on the hard days. They're there to see us on the big finish line crossings and the big, like, 3-year celebration and things like that. But like, they're not there for the hard days that you just are doing your best.
Yeah.
So we gotta throw our own confetti. So I have to agree. It gets different, that's for sure. And I mean, what is hard today isn't necessarily what's hard next year.
Right.
And what was hard a year ago isn't necessarily hard today. So there's something in that. Those are my favorite reasons to celebrate like milestones, and not necessarily like because I need the world to acknowledge like this great big milestone, but because I need to be able to remember where I was
That
5
many
years
years
ago,
ago.
10 years ago, 20 years ago. I need to be able to remember where I was 3 years ago, right? Like that matters to me, to be able to say what you just said. Like, the Lindsey then couldn't do what I do now. And I feel that so often. Like the Brittany that I was wouldn't be able to be doing what I'm doing right now. And that's not always easy, but
Yeah.
I know it's true. What's one thing you're proud of, even if it doesn't feel like you're happy yet?
I'm really proud of, even though it's a pain in the ass adulting, I'm really proud of just for the first time in my life, like having my own place, having my own car, paying my bills, cooking for myself, just doing these stupid little like responsibilities, even though like I do it with my teeth gritted sometimes. Like I am really proud of myself for being able to keep a job, keep a home, keep the wheels turning day in and day out, and doing it by myself with nobody's help.
I love that. I love that. Welcome to being a grown up.
And some people are just like, big deal, but it is a big deal for me.
It is a big
It's
deal.
huge.
It is a big deal. It is a big deal. I would never minimize being able to do the things that weren't your norm, right? Like, sure, maybe that's somebody's norm forever, but if it's not your norm and it's not where you came from, then who cares what they all say, right?
Yeah.
What is something you thought would fix everything but didn't, and then what actually helped instead?
For the last 10 years, I really thought being able to drive again would literally fix my entire life. Like, I was just like, my whole life is going to change after I can drive again. And it made me more anxious, like getting that responsibility back. Like, I did not feel elated. My freaking leg was shaking like the first time I drove to work. It was just like totally not what I expected it to be. Like, there are a lot of good things that have come from it, but it definitely wasn't like the be all, like fix all that I thought that it was going to be.
Yeah.
I think what it did was change my perspective into opening my eyes more of like what I want out of life. And so I don't feel like I felt like for a really long time that I was really like trapped, and I put off having a relationship, like having friendships and being in a relationship like with a partner, just because I always felt like I didn't have anything to offer. I didn't want them to have to take care of me, pick me up, drop me off. Like, I don't know. Like, I held back on doing all of that for so long. Like I said, I had to like drop out of college and I couldn't like do all of that. And so I do think it wasn't like getting the car back, but when that happened, it really has like changed my perspective of what I want life to look like now. And I don't, because I'm so good at just shutting down and just doing the salt mine type of thing. Like, this is going to be my schedule. I'm very rigid about it. I'm not going to even like think about anything else. I didn't think about anything else. I totally forgot what my dreams were
Yeah.
until like a couple of days ago. And I feel like I finally, like, this veil has lifted and I'm not like in a daze anymore. And I'm like, holy shit, like, what am I doing?
Thank
It's
you, Mr. Cicada
time.
Bug.
It's a cicada.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Cicada Bug.
It wasn't the car, it was the cicada that changed everything.
Hey, I love that. And all of the cicadas that are chilling underground right now are like, yeah.
And the viral fever that took over me did something to change my brain to where I have no patience anymore. I'm not waiting anymore. I'm going for it.
Well, I love that. I love that. I don't know what I thought would fix everything. I think there's somewhere along the way, like, I thought that having like this perfect, that's such a big word, but like, maybe have like this perfect family, perfect partner, perfect kids, like really just having that very like nuclear family that people dream of would fix all of the other problems. And I've learned through a series of failed marriage, like I've been married like 900 times.
A series of unfortunate events.
I've learned through a series of unfortunate events that doesn't fix anything. And it doesn't necessarily fix me and isn't necessarily like where I align my life. And so I think what actually helped was, again, like, this is so weird, but like COVID really helped me realize like what I wanted for myself and my relationships, whether they were romantic or friendships or family. Chase's passing really helped me. I'm not thanking him for that, asshole, but Chase's passing really helped me over the course of time really be like, this is who I want to be. So I think there's been, you have this idea, this beautiful picture that you think is going to fix everything. And then it's actually the harder lessons that teach you what you actually needed to know. So yeah, I don't love a hard lesson, but I'm a good student.
We romanticize things a lot.
We should stop.
I don't think we can.
I refuse to romanticize anything ever again in my whole life.
You say that, but it sneaks up on you.
I don't know. We'll see. All right. What am I doing? If you're listening and nodding along, I don't know what I'm doing, Lindsey. I have it written down on the card.
It's all right. We can edit it out.
Right. I'm going to edit it out. If you're listening and nodding along, just know that your progress is valid. And I can't even read my handwriting. I'm going to start over again. If you're listening and nodding along, please know that your progress is valid and your piece is still loading. You're allowed to feel both proud and loss, and you're allowed to find joy in the small pieces. Lindsey, thanks for co-piloting this one. It's not a how-to episode, but it's a Me Too episode, and that's what matters most.
I had so much fun. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I'm glad, and I want you to come back so many more times, maybe for less serious topics. Because you're so funny.
I'm like sweating over here. Like, I feel like we just like went through boot camp.
It's very rigorous.
This was an emotional boot camp.
Well, here you go. Crash course. All right. Everybody out there, don't forget to tune in. New episodes drop every Monday on all streaming platforms and on YouTube. You can follow us and engage on the Dysfunctionally Yours podcast on Instagram and TikTok. In the meantime, don't chase perfect, chase presence. Don't be afraid to be great. Toodles, poodles, bye.